Happy Friday, second graders. Welcome to science. Today is our last lesson observing our silkworms. Next week, we will learn all about our painted lady butterflies. Earlier this week, we asked the question, how does a silkworm compare to a mealworm? You looked at the structures of the different larvae and told me what is the same and what is different. Today, we are going to think about the silkworm as a pupa and as an adult. This slide shows what 3 weeks worth of growth looks like in our silkworm. In the first picture, you can see the egg, really tiny, inside the vial. After 2 weeks, our silkworm has grown into about the length of Miss Shannon's thumbnail. And then 1 more week, our silkworm is getting longer and bigger. And I even noticed that the color is changing a little bit again. Now I know my picture for today is not as clear as the other ones. It was hard to get a good picture today. But you can definitely see our silkworm is getting longer and thicker. Here it is a little closer up. And if you have really good eyesight and you look really closely, I'm going to point out for you where another silkworm is. Right here, that is another silkworm that is in our habitat. There are about 4 of them. You can see that this silkworm is way bigger than all of the other ones. This silkworm is eating a lot of mulberry leaves. Today's focus question in science asks, what is the life cycle of the silkworm? So far, we have talked about the egg stage and the larva stage. Today, we will talk about the cocoon, or pupa, and the adult moth. So think about the picture of the silkworm you just saw. And I am going to show you a video of the silkworm in action. Let's observe. Okay, second graders, this is a time-lapse video, which means it is sped up. So our mealworm definitely does not move this fast, but just to show you kind of watch how it moves. That was pretty cool to see the mealworm moving and eating the mulberry leaves. Now, our silkworm is still in the larva stage. It is a silkworm still. It has not become a pupa. It will become a pupa when the silkworm spins its silk cocoon. This picture below me shows what a silkworm cocoon will look like. When they are in their cocoon, they are in the pupa stage of their life cycle. We've talked about this a little bit already, but do you remember what kind of adult will emerge from the cocoon? That's right, a moth. Here is a close-up picture of a cocoon. Here is a close-up picture of a silkworm cocoon and also a silkworm larva. So noticing about how big it is and how the silkworm larva actually spins that cocoon on their own. This is what the pupa looks like inside the cocoon. Pretty neat. When our silkworms are ready to emerge from their cocoon, they will have become adult silkworm moths. They have gone through a process called metamorphosis. Can you say that with me, second graders? Metamorphosis. Wow, what a long word. Here's some information about adult silkworm moths. Male silkworm moths are smaller than females and have larger antennae. Let's take a look at a diagram of a female moth and a male moth. In this picture, you can see that the female moth is larger, but that the male moth does have larger antennae at the top. We will be able to see once our moths emerge from their cocoon whether we have a female moth or a male moth. Hopefully we get to see them before the end of the school year, but we'll see. They are not in their cocoon yet. Let's review some vocabulary from this lesson. The larvae produce silk from their spinnerets to make a cocoon. The silkworms have gone through a change from larva to adult. This is called metamorphosis. So those are two important vocabulary words to remember and learn from this lesson. They create a cocoon and they undergo a process called metamorphosis when they change from larva to adult. Here is the life cycle of a silkworm. Second graders, do you know what direction the life cycle will move in? Let me get my highlighter and show you. Our silkworms start off as eggs. Here you can see the eggs are on a mulberry leaf. From there, the eggs hatch and they become larvae, or also known as silkworms. They continue to eat the mulberry leaves and grow larger and larger. You can see here, this is about the stage that our silkworm is in now. It is getting longer and thicker. Next, when it is ready to become an adult, it spins a silk cocoon. Inside the cocoon, the silkworm will turn into a pupa form. When it is ready, it will emerge as an adult silkworm moth. And the cycle will start all over again when this adult lays eggs. It's called a life cycle because it goes around and around. It's a cycle. It never ends. Your job today is to describe the life cycle of a silkworm. I want you to include pictures with labels in your description. Then take a picture of your record sheet and upload it to this green box. If your camera is not working, you are going to type your answer in the green box on the final slide, and you will also click and drag each picture to the stages it matches. So you can see there I have pictures, and I also have labels for egg, larva, pupa, and adult. So match the picture with the word or stage of the life cycle.